The Audio Beacon, January 2022. Christmas in the Benefice. Reports from various parishes. Hampstead Marshall. Jenny says, "We had a wonderful and foggy carol and crib service in the churchyard at Hampstead Marshall, accompanied by geese and mulled cider." Christmas at Enbourne. John King writes, "The weather this year was most unseasonal. There was no hint of snow, and indeed little of frost. It was, however, wet. Indeed, there was not even a glimpse of the sun. Many of our regular congregation were away with their families. Nonetheless, about 30 people attended the morning Eucharist. It was a splendid service. It included the usual hymns and readings, and was presided over by the Reverend Julie Howell, curate of St. John's. Julie impressed us all. Despite lunching later in Bath, the service was not rushed and the sermon was thoughtful and inspiring. We were grateful that Roger, Peter and Julian had made this possible." Christmas, for me, took a different form after the service. Anna joined me for the rest of the day. We cooked and ate a vegetarian Christmas lunch, which included some vegetables like purple sprouting, which were not available in December in my youth. Later, we watched some impressive religious services from both Canterbury Cathedral and York Minster, the latter taken by the Archbishop, who has before taken services at West Woody and Kintbury. Our day ended with the beautiful singing of carols. And in Kintbury, Penny Fletcher writes, "Grey skies and rain could not dampen the spirits in Kintbury churchyard as we celebrated on Christmas morning. Jenny, ably helped by young readers, singers and thoughtful prayers from the Curley family, led us in a short service. As always, Chris provided us with joyful music for well-loved carols. Thank you, everyone. Despite COVID and the lack of priests, we truly celebrated Christmas." And Jill Guy adds, "The service in the drizzle yesterday was well attended, and all went well for the celebration too, with participation and assistance within our wonderful team." Jill also tells us about Hungerford Brass Band and carol singing in Kintbury 2021. There was a happy gathering of over 100 villagers, families and children who met together for carol singing to the wonderful music produced by the brass band. The weather outside was perfect. Mulled wine and mince pies were served and provided by friends in Church Street and Kennet Valley Filling Station, which were appreciated by us all. Jenny gave a suitable introduction and also a final blessing which set the scene and also reminded us of the real meaning of Christmas. Villagers were generous with donations for both the band and St. Mary's, which was an added bonus to the evening. The band have played regularly in Kintbury for us, in excess of 20 years. They said how much they had enjoyed performing for us over the years and are looking forward to being with us next Christmas if all is well. The sentiments and feeling are definitely mutual. But, unfortunately, the Kintbury Carol and Crib service, which had been planned as an outdoor event, had to be cancelled due to bad weather. However, Jill Guy says, "There were a few families around, and we did have a happy time carol singing so that they were not too disappointed, and it was enjoyed by all." A Church Near You is a C of E website that carries parish information about all its parishes. Ours includes the latest information on all services in the Benefice, including a rota of services in each of our parishes. Especially important at this time of interregnum and COVID-19 are the latest changes pages, which give updates potentially right up to the time of a service. Please see Jenny's note on January services elsewhere in this issue. To help you find the pages covering your parish, below is a directory of addresses. Kintbury, https://www.achurchnearyou.com/church/168/ Enbourne, https://www.achurchnearyou.com/church/5853/ Inkpen, https://www.achurchnearyou.com/church/5907/ West Woody, https://www.achurchnearyou.com/church/6047/ Coombe, https://www.achurchnearyou.com/church/5824/ Hampstead Marshall, https://www.achurchnearyou.com/church/5884// Once you have arrived at your parish's page, click on the link for the information you want, e.g. latest changes. Our A Church Near You pages are updated regularly. There is also a link on every parish front page to the Benefice website, address https://www.walburybeaconbenefice.org.uk/ for further information. There is a photograph of the sunset over Coombe from the gibbet early in January 2022. Wishing all our readers a happy and peaceful New Year. Ministry Team Letter from Jenny Veazey. Just over 2 weeks to go to Christmas, and I am writing this for you to read next year. In the Church's year, we are about 3/4 of the way through Advent, that season which ought to be one of solemn waiting for the birth of that baby, but which, in reality, tends to disappear into a welter of carol and crib services, card writing and Christmas shopping. Advent Sunday heralds the Church's new year. Advent wreaths are constructed and Advent candles lit in many of our churches, one for each of the 4 Sundays in Advent, and often a central white candle which represents the light of the world and is lit on Christmas Day. I'm trying to make up my mind whether all these familiar and well-travelled rituals, sacred and secular, offer a sense of security and certainty, or whether that annual familiarity actually highlights the continuing uncertainty of our present lives. Even the insecurity is beginning to feel familiar. We make plans, while thinking and saying, well, perhaps we'll have to see where we are next week, next month, next year. A week later, just over a week to go now, and already a few carol events done, with more to come at the weekend. Or will they? And Omicron is tossing all the cards into the air again. Who knows which way up they will come to land this time? During the last 2 years, I have come to wonder whether we, in the West, have perhaps become a bit too complacent, a bit too certain that we have control over our lives. That sense of certainty, of security, is a comparatively recent, comparatively localised phenomenon. A lot of the older people in the New Forest village where I grew up would always tack on to the end of any plans or arrangements they were making the words, "if I'm spared." They had known World War I, Spanish flu, the Depression, World War II. They understood uncertainty. Their mantra didn't mean much to me as a child, but I do now find myself remembering it. By the time you read this, Christmas will have come and gone, and we shall be celebrating Epiphany, that hope-inspired journey made by the wise men, out into the unknown with only a star and their faith to guide them. Perhaps we should take them for our 2022 New Year role models. May the new year be a time of blessing for us all. Jenny. A thank you from us all. As we come to the end of a most difficult year, I wish to thank Jenny and her Cross Benefice band of helpers in their work to help us through it. A reader's ministry is to preach and teach. They can also take funerals and, with the bishop's permission, baptise. Trying to keep churches open and disinfected, obtain visiting clergy in a benefice left in disarray in a pandemic is a little out of the ordinary. Pastoral care can be very draining. I spent 6 years serving as a chaplain in the Thames Valley and know that sharing joy is uplifting, but trying to bring comfort to the sick, depressed, worried or grieving in the community is difficult. As well as this, there has been the need in shutdown to make sure parishioners in the villages and marooned boat people had their medicine, food, etc. So, a very big thank you to Jenny and all those who have quietly helped to care for us, proving that the light of Christ is shining brightly in the Walbury Beacon Benefice. Penny Fletcher. And so say all of us. Ed. The Hidden Life and Legacy of Marianne Dundas by Tessa Locke. In January 1801, Jane Austen wrote to her sister Cassandra, "Eliza has seen Lord Craven at Barton, and probably by this time at Kintbury." The Eliza she mentions here was the wife of the Reverend Fuller Craven Fowle, Vicar of Kintbury, and Lord Craven, the influential landowner and member of the aristocracy, then living with his mistress at Ashdown Park. But where was Barton, and why was whoever lived there playing host to a local bigwig? Barton, or Barton Court, still an imposing residence which can be reached along the avenue, at that time the main route into Kintbury for traffic from the Bath Road, was the home of Charles Dundas. Since 1794 he had been a Member of Parliament for the constituency of Berkshire, at that time stretching as far north as the Thames and including Wantage and Abingdon. As a member of a titled Scottish family, Dundas moved in some of the best circles of the time. In keeping with their station in life and the fashions of the time, the Dundas family are well represented on the walls of Kintbury Church, where we can read that Charles and his wife, Anne Whitley, whom he had married in 1782, had issue one daughter, Janet. Anne died in 1812, and in 1822 Charles married Margaret Esquire, formerly Ogilvy, née Berkeley. Reading the Dundas memorials on the church walls, anyone would conclude that Charles Dundas had just one daughter. However, research into historical records reveals that this was not the case. Charles's daughter Marianne was most likely born in 1793. Her mother was not Anne Whitley. At the time, a child born to a mother not married to its father was often referred to as the natural child of whoever. Jane Austen gives an example of this in her novel Emma, where Harriet Smith is referred to as the natural daughter of an unknown person Emma chooses to imagine as someone well-to-do. Harriet Smith has been sent to live at a boarding school for girls, and, it seems, no one acknowledges her as their daughter, and her family remain a mystery. We know from looking at the 1851 census that Marianne had been born in Kintbury, but I can find no record of her baptism or indeed who her mother might have been. It is impossible to find out anything of her early life. Perhaps, like Harriet Smith, she was sent away to a girls' boarding school. However, thanks to online marriage records, we know that in 1815 Marianne Dundas married the Reverend William Everett of Romford, Essex, at the then very fashionable St George's, Hanover Square, Westminster. We know Charles Dundas was present at the ceremony, as he has signed the register. It is particularly interesting that Marianne is known by her father's surname, although all the available evidence suggests that Charles Dundas was never married to her mother. This was a time when a natural son or daughter was usually known by their mother's surname, an example from Kintbury being William Winterbourne, who, during his lifetime, was known by his mother's name of Smith, as his parents weren't married. It would seem to me that, by the time of her marriage at least, Charles Dundas acknowledged Marianne as his daughter. Marianne and William Everett had 3 children. William, born and baptised in Kintbury in 1821, became a Fellow of New College, Oxford, and also a barrister. Charles Dundas Everett, born in Kintbury in 1825, entered the church. Finally, Alicia was born in Kintbury, 1827. Interestingly, the 1861 census actually shows Alicia having been born at Barton Court, so it has to be likely that her brothers were born there too. There is no evidence that the Everett's family home was ever in Kintbury. Perhaps it had been decided that Barton Court was a more preferable place for confinement than the Reverend Everett's draughty vicarage. We can only assume that Charles Dundas's second wife was welcoming to Marianne and her children. On 27th of November 1851, the youngest child, Alicia, married the Oxford master brewer James Morrell of Headington at St George's, Hanover Square, the same fashionable church at which her parents had married. The service was taken by her brother, Charles. James had inherited Headington Hill Hall, Oxford, which he had extended in the Italianate fashion, and this large, imposing residence became the family home for him and Alicia. Marianne was living there herself when she died on the 4th of December 1861. James and Alicia's only child, Emily, was born in 1854. In 1874, Emily married her cousin, George Herbert Morrell, and so the Oxford brewing business continued to be run by the Morrell family for the next 3 generations. By the 1960s, the company was run by one Colonel Morrell, a well-known name in the Oxford area, not least in the Locke household, as my father's firm did a lot of work for the brewers. I believe Colonel Morrell would have been Marianne's great-great-grandson. The natural daughter of Charles Dundas, therefore, can be regarded as the dowager matriarch of Oxford's celebrated brewing family. In 1953, the Morrell family sold Headington Hill Hall to Oxford City Council, from whom it was later leased by one Robert Maxwell, infamous for having defrauded his employees' pension fund and having disappeared from his yacht named the Lady Ghislaine after his daughter. Today, Headington Hill Hall is leased by Oxford Brookes University. So, whilst there are many Dundas names on the walls of Kintbury Church, Marianne's, due, I suppose, to the circumstances of her birth, is not one of them. But, despite being Charles Dundas's natural daughter, her fate was not that of a Harriet Smith. Her life might not be recorded on the walls of our church, but, through the generations, her family certainly made their mark in Oxford. One mystery, however, remains. There seems to be no way of knowing the name of Marianne's mother. That chapter of her story is no different from that of Harriet Smith. January Services in the Benefice by Jenny Vesey. Inevitably, at the time of going to press, We are unsure of how January may be looking in terms of COVID restrictions. Up till now, we've done pretty well with covering almost all our planned services exactly as planned, thanks to the deanery and visiting priests. However, the area dean has asked me to pass on that with much of the clergy cover being provided by retired priests, there is a concern that they should be protected as far as possible, which limits availability. So, the situation remains fluid and very liable to last-minute changes. The rota, therefore, must be regarded as aspirational. So, please continue to check church and village notice boards, the WBB website, www.walburybeaconbenefice.org.uk, a church near you, https://www.achurchnearyou.com. Many thanks to Alex and Phil for keeping these updated for us. The regular Benefice email will be sent out to all on the distribution list at the end of the first week in January, and always contains the most recent information that we have available for the forthcoming weekend. Please note that the Benefice office will be closed until 1 p.m. on the 4th of January 2022. If you have a parish inquiry, please contact your local church warden. For other urgent church or pastoral matters, please contact the licensed lay minister, Jenny Veazey, jennyveazey@hotmail.co.uk, or the area dean, David MacLeod, on stmarysgreenham@gmail.com. The rota of services, which, as Jenny says, is aspirational, is on the next page of the beacon. Walbury Beacon Benefice contact details. Jenny Veazey, email jennyveazey@hotmail.com. Benefice Office 01635 226 064. Email wbboffice@gmail.com. Items for the beacon to fill on pji@crested-newt-computing.co.uk. Correction and apology. In the November 2021 beacon, it was reported that the pictures presented to Tim and Jane Wood were created by Philip Watson. They were actually created by Philip Wilson. We apologise to Philip for this error and any confusion caused. Services in the Walbury Beacon Benefice for January 2022. The rota is aspirational, so services are subject to change at short notice. Please see Jenny's item, January Service, on the previous page. Also, please check with our website, A Church Near You, for confirmation of each service to check details have not changed. All our services are subject to the current government restrictions and will require social distancing, wearing of face masks, etc. Sunday, 2nd of January, Epiphany, Enbourne, Matins, 9:45 a.m. Sunday, 9th of January, Kintbury, Holy Communion, 9:45 a.m. West Woody, Holy Communion, 11:15 a.m. Sunday, 16th of January, Enbourne, Holy Communion, 10:30 a.m. Avington, Matins, 10 a.m. Inkpen, Compline, 4 p.m. Sunday, 23rd of January, Coombe, Holy Communion, 11:15 a.m. Hampstead Marshall, Holy Communion, 9:45 a.m. Sunday, 30th of January, Kintbury, Morning Prayer, 9:45 a.m. Inkpen, Holy Communion, 9:45 a.m. West Woody, Compline, time to be confirmed. Happy first birthday, Audio Beacon. Thank you for listening.